The mighty cosmocraft, the Thunderbird sent by the sky gods to save humans, as legends claim. Thunderbirds, known around the world as legendary animated series, you may have heard of them as state-of-the-art aircraft, antique cars, and computer applications, but we're not talking about any of this. Or this is a story of the real Thunderbirds, goes back a long way, reaches us through wonderful legends and stories told even today by Native Americans, our well-known indigenous Americans who were in the Wild West, as there are many tribes of Indians who have managed to survive and orally passed on their traditions, word of mouth from grandfather to grandson. Many differences are identified, but also many similarities between them, which may suggest that it's a common reality, or which, however, varied according to each culture and the heroes of each tribe. There is, therefore, a rather interesting story about the Thunderbirds, who were sent by the gods to protect and save people. These are described as one or more supernatural beings, in fact, as huge birds. They were named Thunderbirds because the flapping of their powerful wings sounded like thunder, and lightning flashed through their eyes. These birds are said to bring rain and thunderstorms, so skeptics would easily say that it was a personification or deification of natural phenomena. But that does not seem to be the case. They could cause catastrophic strong winds, floods, and fires through the storms. However, it was a symbol of power that protected people from evil spirits. They are said to have had bright and colorful wings with sharp teeth and claws. It was also said that they lived in the clouds high above the highest mountains. In short, in the mythology of various races of the indigenous tribes, the Thunderbird controls the higher world, protects people by shedding light on it, while they were the ancestors of the human race and helped create the universe, so the legends go. They say they live on a large mountain that floats in the western sky, from where they control the rain and fight to stop the, quote, snakes with big horns, end quote, that want to flood the earth and devour humanity. They claim, in fact, that they are messengers of the great sun itself, or of the great spirit. They could change their form and transform into humans, so we're talking about shape-shifting here, according to legendsofamerica.com, especially boys, so they could interact with humans, fight evil reptilians, and of course, they could always fly away. The mighty Thunderbirds sent by the gods. The indigenous Ute of the Northwest Pacific has a terrific story to remember, which, like most, was told orally or through traditional songs, and is described in Ella E. Clark's book, Indian Legends of the Pacific Northwest. This is a collection of more than 100 tribal stories dating back to the Indians of Washington and Oregon. In it, we can learn about their beliefs, their manners and customs, the creation of the world and the heavens, and much more. According to this story, then, there was a time when the Indians, the Native Americans that is, were severely malnourished, and a large part of their population was dying, from hunger obviously, after a terrible disaster by rain and hail for many days that destroyed all the plants. The Native Americans called on the Great Spirit for help, and then the Thunderbird sent them. Thunderbird arrived in an impressive way. It came from the side of the sun, making a great noise, flapping its huge wings and emitting lightning flashes that made night and day and made the darkness disappear. They all turned and looked at the Thunderbird as it came traveling over the ocean and headed towards them. Its wingspan was twice that of a war canoe, as described by geocaching.com. The native Ute Indians had never seen anything so huge. It was huge, it had a curved beak, while on its big toenails it was holding something also huge. As it approached their place, the Native Americans became increasingly sure that what it was holding was a huge fish. It was actually a living giant whale, which the Thunderbird very carefully lowered to the ground in front of them, and it left it there and left to go away from where it came from. You may think that just because there are various legends that can touch or even exceed the limits of the imagination, this does not necessarily mean that everything that is said about them is true. Indeed, it may be so. However, we leave all the windows of chance open, as this is not the first time we meet a quote-unquote machine god to help and save people in various mythologies and traditions of the world. By the way, we wonder, from machine god, was it a code of remembrance of higher beings? What if Thunderbird, quote-unquote, was actually a spaceship? If all that is described in one way or another was true, somewhere here we come to the theory of Massimo Frattini, who proposes that extraterrestrial spacecraft use storms to reach Earth, either utilizing lightning energy or charging their flying vehicles. Do the children of the gods, quote-unquote, come down through the storms? It may be so, according to legend. Why not? This I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.